Looking great, my friend. Wow. Who knew you had
Oh,
this sexy chest hair? What a bear.
baby, I need to look good for you. I mean, it's Friday, it's the end of the week. I gotta
I
like
mean,
get
you're
you.
really not a bear because you're on Ozempic. You're more of an otter because you're very tiny.
Thank you, darling. And by the way, everybody slip into the DMs. You can go to hers.com/velvet. I am working with I'm working with hers now. I remember how I told you I was on the
Plug it.
Ozempic.
Go on, plug it, because then I'm going to plug Honey
Okay.
Playbox. Go on.
Well, let me tell you something. This is a real story. There's no plug here. Remember how I told you I was on the Ozempic and all those things, and then I lost the weight and then it
Yeah.
stopped working? Well, I didn't accept that it stopped working. I'm like, there has to be something with the dosage here. So I looked into a lot of things and I ended up getting in contact with forhers.com/velvet. And I explained everything that I was already on, all these different weight loss things. This compounded semaglutide, and at forhers.com/velvet, they said there's no reason that the shots should have stopped working for you. It's with your dosage. We had a consultation and I started it again, baby, and it is working. So no joke. Everyone slip into the DMs, forhers.com/velvet. You think it's a plug, but I think it's back. It got me back on the gravy train. I'm starting to thin out, girl.
Well, once you are thin and you are hot, you need to be having the best sex of your life. And that's where Honey Playbox comes into play.
Excuse me.
Go to honeyplaybox.com. They are an adult toy company. Use code TSFS for 20% off your entire order. Because once you're sexy and skinny nude, I'm sure you're out there
You
in the
want
Hamptons having hot
sex?
sex, hot LA sex, as you should be. And use code TSFS, Honey Playbox. They are amazing. They have love toys for everybody, gay, straight, anything in between.
Hot sex in LA and hot sex in New York are
Mhm.
usually better than hot sex in the Hamptons because it's
Oh.
just like everyone out here is like fucking married. Now, granted, they're all cheating, but that's a whole nother show and a whole nother conversation. Everyone on Patreon is now going to say, I heard an ad. This isn't an ad. This is an actual show. If on Patreon you're in the ad free category and you think this is an ad, I invite you to the regular show for a day and you will experience what an ad is. So, because every time you and I actually have an organic thing that comes up like that just did for hers.com/velvet and your sexual experiences, those are not ads. What do you want to talk about first?
Well, I want to get to because we touched on it, but then I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what happened. But Phaedra Parks
Woo!
is now returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta. In the past couple of weeks, she's put it out there. What is, we talked about Apollo's arrest. Dr. Heavenly apparently invited Apollo and his current wife, although she called 911 on him for domestic violence. So we'll see what happens uh, to film while Phaedra was there, which supposedly led to the abrupt quitting by Phaedra. Do we believe that, or do we think that producers were like, "All right, girl, you're going back to RHOA with Kenya"? And to me, don't you think this signals, even though people have said, "Wait a minute, Kenya could be back"? Don't you think this signals Kenya won't be back?
You mean going back with Portia? Well, this is Frick and this is Frack, and they are back together again. Yeah, those are the rumors that Dr. Heavenly, we love our Dr. Heavenly. I've had someone the other day said, will you cover Married to Medicine on YouTube? I've had about 900 people that are cast members on Married to Medicine on this show. So we've
Oh,
covered
wow.
it. But apparently Dr. Heavenly, yes, called Apollo and the current wife on the cast trip, invited them. I agree with you. Now he's been arrested for apparently domestic abuse against the wife. So I don't know how that figures in the timeline and all that. But apparently Phaedra was so disgusted that she didn't want to discuss him last season at all on Married to Medicine, that she walked out. And yes, miraculously, now there is a video of her getting off a plane with the long nails and all the bling. And then we see the peach in her hand. And she said, you asked for me and I am back. Well, I mean, this is what she wanted this whole time since this whole drama with Candy and the dungeon and all that. So, look, I've said before, I mean, Drew Sidora is out there doing interviews, and Drew Sidora said, we don't know. They're not telling us anything about Kenya. I don't buy it. I don't buy that Kenya is coming back. I don't buy that we're figuring it out and she's in a timeout and a punishment. I don't know if I mean, again, Jax and Stassi and Kristen and Brittany were fired for during the height of BLM and apparently for racially insensitive actions, and they are back on the network. So I don't think Kenya is in the Nene Leakes category. Nene will never be back. Bethany will never be back. Who else will never be back? Those two are on the top of my list.
Do you think Ziggy Flicker's on there, or you think
I
she
don't think Siggy. And by the way, I don't think that you're banned for being MAGA. I don't buy it. I don't buy that that's why Kelly Dodd is not there. Yeah, she was fine for Drunk Wives Matter and blah, but I mean, Teresa Giudice, Dolores, who do you think Emily Simpson and Jada Kirschenheiter and Tamara Judge and Shannon Bedore are voting for? I have one guess for you. Heather Dubrow, the thing is when people have so much money, it's
Dubrow?
like a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
money.
Yeah,
A lot of money. There's a lot of people with a lot of money and they're Republican. Then you have like the Hollywood types that have obscene amounts of money and they vote for the social issues. I know it's not that simple and I don't know everything, but sure, Heather could be a possible vote for Democrat because I mean,
a
she has so much
possible.
money. Okay, she's yes. But I mean, who do you think Bedore and Simpson and all the rest pedantry? Come on, let's just be honest. So I don't believe that that's why Kelly Dodd got fired. I think Kelly Dodd got fired because she is a liability, and B, like more wound up than Dorinda, even on her best day. And she ain't what the future of the network is. She's a walking, a breathing liability to a corporation. Kelly Dodd will basically never be back if no one didn't realize that. But I think, there is a door there for Kenya. I don't think Kenya is coming back at the end of this season, guys, and there's going to be a big surprise. I'm sorry. I love this. I mean, I think Kenya is the best housewife of Atlanta ever. That's my opinion. But if we can't have Kenya and I could have Phaedra, I mean, well played, Bravo, because I'm kind of interested. It's going to be a weird season, right? Like, are we going to
Yeah,
show Kenya at all? Because we're only two, or are
no,
we just not going to pretend that never happened? So then we're going to have Lizzie Savetsky, whose
we're gonna
husband used a racially incorrect word and was edited out of Real Housewives of New York last season. And the whole beginning of Roni, the new Roni reboot, made no sense if you were really paying attention. It was so disconjointed. That's what we're now going to have without Kenya there. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to see Kenya. And now we're on the cast trip. I forgot where they are. And Phaedra's going to